So I want to talk about our future. 2025 is a critical, pivotal year. It's just the start of many things that are going to challenge us, but it is also a pivotal year. Why is that? Well, I want to share some predictions with you from people you may never have heard of, and also talk to you about what is possible, because for everything that's going on out there, there has to be somebody who's agreeing with it. There's something critical we need to discuss today. Are you ready for this? Because you are a critical part of what will happen from this day forward. Let's go. Welcome to Landria on YouTube, here to help you break through fear and live an amazing life. People want to know what the future is. They want to be told what the future is. They don't want to be told that they're creating the future. Why is that? Is it frightening to think that we hold that power? Or are we not believing in ourselves? We just don't believe that we are that power. That's changing. I have some predictions for 2025. I'm going to share these over a series of videos. And I want to just share something with you, beginning with this question. Do you believe that things just happen to us, or are we creating what is happening? You'll probably say, well, we're creating it. So the question is, what are you doing? And it really comes down to us. I hope that you will subscribe, because I have messages not of just hope, but empowerment. In fact, I have a series at landria.com. It is free, and it is teaching you how to connect to, how to communicate with that quantum field that is creating at all times. Because you can talk to it and say, well, I'm creating, but those times that you're not talking to it, you're still creating. So my question to you right now is, how are any of these things happening out there that we don't like? There are people behind them. There are people who are in fear and in conflict, and therefore they're protecting things. They're doing things to get more control and money. Did you know that the bird flu here, we have this shortage of eggs? Did you know that an entire farm could have 1 million, 2 million chickens, and if a couple test positive, they destroy all of them? That's why we're having a shortage of eggs. And I read that and it was so disturbing. Who's doing this? You know, when we went through world wars, none of that could have happened without people participating. And those who stood up is what ended these wars. One of you sent me a video that was super cool. A professor comes into his classroom and he tells one of the students to leave and never come back. He doesn't give a reason. The student stands up and leaves the room. And he talked about the lesson that was learned. He asked why nobody stood up and stopped it, or at least questioned it. That's how we're functioning. It is time for you to stand up, not in violence or conflict, to stand up in change. These are the things that you must create, and you have to ask yourself if you're participating in any of the things that are causing that future out there to continue forward. We can end it. I'm going to give you a few predictions right here. One that is called the Present Day Nostradamus. And what he said, none of it's all that surprising. Let's take a look at that now. So the person I'm referring to is Athos Alome. He's known as the living Nostradamus. Never heard of him. Not getting a lot of traction. And I'm not sure why, but I'm not seeing anything all that new and exciting. But there are a couple things on here. I'm going to go through this. The living Nostradamus. Well, we know Nostradamus said things that sort of went this way and that way. We had to interpret it. Yeah, he's being pretty, Athos is being pretty direct. He said tech advances could be amazing, but potential disaster. That can solve problems, or chaos with security will occur. Hello, this or that. Now I'm going to tell you what's so important about these statements I'm going to make. Medicine will be revolutionized, but it will also pose mental risks. Digital currency will be consolidated and powerful. It's going to be really cool. Oh, but governments can control transactions and privacy. Space exploration will expand, and there will be UFO disclosures. It's going to change our understanding of everything. Well, we know that is coming, not just because of our governments or disclosures by any other institution or government, but because it's in our face right now. I think that's a good thing. Now, here's one thing that he said, and this I believe is true, that Trump can trust no one, and he should not trust his own organizations within our government. I believe that. I think anybody who goes into some kind of radical space, whether you agree with him or not, is going to be a threat to certain sides. So I haven't heard anything about Trump, what's actually going to happen with him in office, but he's a pretty old dude. You know, our presidents get super stressed out. People have already tried to take him out. So between health and people not liking him, and who knows what else is going to happen, he's at high risk. But I personally haven't picked up anything about him that is a negative nature, other than he's going to shake up the norms. It could be a good thing or bad, because we determine those outcomes. We're shaking up everything that has been destroying the planet, our lives, control everything. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. You'd say, well, we don't like what he's doing, but it also opens the doorway for us to speak up. So that's the living Nostradamus predictions, and I'm going to give you more in upcoming videos that are a little bit more exciting than that. What does all of this mean? No one seer or channeler or predictor has ever been 100% right. Why is that? If they can hit some of it, why aren't they hitting all of it? Because the other factor is you, my friend. Prayer works. That has been proven, and there will be detractors. There will be those out there that will tell you it doesn't work, don't do it. They want you to believe that you don't hold power. Our own government has facilitated these programs and not talked about it, and held so many things in secrecy of those powers, the very powers that you hold. Everyone does. Now, I saw Ross Coulthart, who's on News Nation. He's one of my favorite interviewers. He's very skeptical, including with Chris Bledsoe. He said, until I do my research and speak to the person, he doesn't take a stance either way. He keeps an open mind. I hope that will be you, because we don't have all the answers. And everyone is allowed their own opinion, but here's what I want to share with you about him. He's always going into that space of the unknown, UFOs, whistleblowers. He doesn't believe everything that he hears. Even whistleblower Stephen Greer, who I'm not a big fan of, is accusing Ross Coulthart and Jake Barber, who's our latest whistleblower, who's not going into that conspiracy space, but into a very loving space. He's accusing them of some kind of conspiracy. Yeah, you know why? Because they're doing really good things. Well, Ross said that he has been tapping into that space that we are told we all have. Well, you're doing it with your thoughts, so it is actually happening without you really knowing or always seeing the results. But I assure you, there are results in your reality that are happening through your thoughts and your beliefs. And so he has gone into that space where he's meditated and he's tried to do certain things. He's called in, the UAPs, and he says, it's not working for me. Well, he probably has another mission, and he is doing that mission. He's carrying that out. Not everyone is going to have your abilities so in your face available, but I assure you that it is happening. We are controlling our future, and your participation or non-participation is determining that future. I want you to think about everything that's happening. There are people behind it. There are people facilitating it. There are people believing it. There are people that are arguing it. There are people going into conflict, which is what the media and those factions want. They want the majority of people at odds with one another, because it's a low frequency and it's a disempowering one. Why? Because you're not accessing that beautiful space, because the veils of disbelief, the veils of anger, the veils of separation and judgment are surrounding you by your choice. So we're going to explore these predictions more and more and how you and I can change them. It is possible, but you can do it in your own life right now. I'm giving you tools to change your life, your mindset, to connect to this power. Everyone can do this. With my free series, you get meditations. This is the critical key, is to go into the space where you stop the thinking, the craziness. I'm teaching you how to do that. Another thing that I'm teaching you is if you are going into any destructive company, business that is not caring for our planet, animals, people, then you are part of the destruction of our planet. You cannot say I have to pay my bills, because that is service to self. Service to others is way more abundant, way more satisfying, and you must focus on that and get off the distractions. I know it's happening. People are sending me stuff about this and this and this, and I'm saying, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Let's do this. What are you creating? You have to start here if you want to be the positive change. Otherwise, you will facilitate the negative change. It's a choice, neither good nor bad, but wouldn't it be nice to live on a planet where things are so beautiful and loving, compassionate, unconditional love? Digital Explorers, if you are an entrepreneurial-minded person, you can create an online business changing the planet. These are planet-conscious businesses we're creating. It's a self-discovery journey that I take you on. You've never been encouraged to do things you love. Let's find that. It's customized, and we're opening up and expanding a world where we have not been taught how to love what we do, earn in a positive way, take care of others. That's such a high frequency. Well, I'm doing it, and I'm not going to stop. And if you don't participate in it, then you can go back to that job or stay in the relationship that's destructive or listen to the negative media and support those channels with millions of views. And so that gains power. And this over here never gets destroyed. But it will not be the majority who will experience the new earth. You can experience it no matter how many other people choose the destructive behavior, thoughts, negativity, separation, and judgment. You have to move past it, my friend. You must move past it. It doesn't exist in the penthouse. You can't get up to that top floor if you're still in negativity. It's not a frequency match. You don't want to be around it, right? So it can't get up to you. But if you're experiencing this, you're going to be with others who are in your frequency. And so you're going to be with people that are not treating you well. And so those of you who are going into the higher frequencies will notice that that negative behavior, even if it's this big, is going to be in your face all of a sudden. It's going to be very noticeable. And you're going to notice those who you can really count on, who are steadfast, those who stay in the lane of compassion, those who will not allow their ego to control their behavior, their words, their anger, their fear. I'm here to help you break through the fear. Observe it. It doesn't control you. This is an illusion, and you get to create it. It is interchangeable at every moment, and it's happening here. You are the creator of the program. Let's explore the coming events that have been predicted. I had my own in my last video. I will share more of my premonitions. Mine are more premonitions than direct predictions, and they're consistent. That those who are steadfast in peace and love will inherit the crown, as tarnished as it is, taking over a kingdom, as destroyed as it is, and those who have not respected and taking care of all that has been given to us will be stepping down. I see this over and over and over again in various premonitions in my dreams. They're very clear. You have to stay in faith. You have to stay in love. They are not the enemy. They are you. It's a different form and expression. Hang in there with me. This is all an experience. You can't mess up. You can't. But you get to experience that which you believe. If you want to call in orbs, Nikki and I are doing a master class together. If you want to call in your protectors and angels, they do exist. They will be there, but you have to ask and you have to be in alignment with them. Truly not in fear, but that of blessing everything and everyone. Those of you who have read my book know that I go into what's called the knowing. I just saw a near-death experience, really cool video from a gal. And she actually talked about the knowing. She said, you stop asking questions. I wrote about this. Almost word for word she said it. When you go into that space, you have a knowledge. You don't have questions anymore because only the ego needs to get answers. When you go into that space, you don't even care about that. There's no answers because everything just is and you accept it. It's a peaceful, beautiful place. So those of you who want to explore that, I discussed the tipping point that we're in and the knowing. The knowing, you'll know when you're in it because you observe. You start to observe. And you may get a little depressed, some of you. Why? Because it's not easy to have love and compassion for all things and to be in a world that destroys it. It's a sad space to be in. You're still a human being. You'll experience that sadness, but hang in there, my friend. You are amazing. You are absolutely already perfect. You have the jewels in your tattered robes. You are abundant and beautiful and perfect and healthy and wealthy and happy. You are all these things. Reach in. The jewels are there. The tattered robes, they're irrelevant. They'll fade away. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you. Hang in there with me. Everything you do must be a higher choice if you want to change the world. Down in the description, everything that I suggest to you could clean up your environment, your body, your health. Are you ready for that? Let's go into that space. It's available for you now. There are those of us who are creating those options for you. I love you unconditionally. Namaste.